Washington Commanders are now just a few days away from the start of NFL training camp. They have already went through OTAs, mandatory minicamp, and rookie minicamp as well. And throughout that process, there's already been a few names that have positioned themselves to become X factors for this team going into next year. Now, not only that, but they also just got massive news. Last night, they signed an older edge rusher, a veteran player that I believe could be a difference maker on this team. And I'm going to tell you exactly why. Von Miller, and I'm going to show you why as well. He's just going to be a good player for them. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, oh, he's washed. Oh, he's too old. I'm going to tell you why that's just, quite frankly, not true for this certain situation. Before we dive into the video, I want you guys to do me a favor. Comment down below 2 players that you think could potentially break out for the Commanders, but more importantly, become X factors this season. It could be a rookie, a veteran, a second-year player. It could be someone they just signed. It could be a UDFA. I don't care, right? Whoever you think could make a difference, let me know in the comments. With that being said, hit the like button, subscribe. Let's dive into today's video. The first thing that we need to talk about here is the Commanders' defense from last season. You're going to tell right away they weren't the best in the world. They ranked 22nd when it came to points allowed per game. They ranked about 29th when it came to fourth down conversion percentage allowed, which obviously not great. 27th touchdowns allowed per game, or red zone scoring percentage, and then 27th in touchdowns allowed per game as well. Now, the main area of their struggles from last year was in the running game. Ranked 31st in yards allowed per carry, ranked 29th in rushing touchdowns allowed per game, and 31st in rushing yards allowed per game as well. Obviously, this defense needed a lot of work. However, their pass defense was actually pretty damn good. They ranked 8th in the NFL when it came to QB sack percentage. However, they did lose Dante Fowler on this defense, right? Replaced him with Dorance Armstrong, a former Dallas Cowboy player that I believe could be a day one, maybe not an upgrade, but definitely a better one-on-one pass rusher than Dante Fowler was. He was more of a schematically drawn up pass rusher. Dorance Armstrong can win in one-on-ones. They also added Deatrich Wise and Jacob Martin. But now Von Miller comes into the system, and this is why I like him the most. He doesn't need to be a day one starter, okay? He doesn't need to play every single snap. And the reason why I say he's a much better fit than a lot of people think, because people think that he's going to play every single snap. And yeah, he is too old to play every single snap. But is he too old to play 15 to 20 snaps a game? No. Here's why. So here we go. Von Miller last season had 32 pressures. 32, and he only played 279 snaps. This is very similar to what they're going to ask him to do in Washington. They don't need him to play every snap. And with those 32 pressures, he ended up getting 6 sacks. Okay? He also ranked 11th in the NFL when it came to pass rush grade. So he was a top 15 edge rusher in football when he was on the football field. And again, don't get me wrong, he didn't play too much. He played when they needed him to play. And again, that's all they're going to ask him to do. He might even play less snaps this season. But what I'm trying to get across to you guys is he is a guy that can play, and he's a guy that can get pressure on the quarterback. Again, the most important thing in football is, 1, protecting your quarterback. They didn't do a great job of it last year. However, when you look at their offense, they added Laremy Tunsil, right? Let's hope that this offensive line can take a step in the right direction. One of the best pass blocking tackles in football, that's him, right? But also, another most important thing is getting to the opposing quarterback. They needed to get more pressure. They ranked 8th, which is good, but you lost Dante Fowler, who had a great amount of sacks last year. Now you add a great pass rusher that can rotate in. Now, before we break down some of his film, I need you guys to do me a favor. Hit the like button. If we get over, let's say 400 likes on this video, we are going to drop non-stop Commander videos throughout the entirety of not only training camp, but also preseason football, okay? Preseason, all 22 coaches film. We got regular season videos for film. We got you guys covered with everything. So make sure you guys hit the like button. But most importantly, make sure you guys are subscribed. It is free. It doesn't cost anything to join the family. And like I said before, we will be covering this team throughout the entirety of everything. We got you guys covered. Join the family, turn on post notifications, that way you're notified every time we post one of these videos. And with that being said, let's kind of deep dive back into maybe even some more film this time. Now, the majority of the time, you're going to want to see Von Miller lined up in a 5 technique, basically meaning the outside shoulder of the tackle. You can also play him as a 7 technique as well, which is inside the shoulder of the tight end, or even a 9 tech, outside shoulder of the tight end as well, right? So you can play 5, 7, 9 tech, whatever you need him to play. And look at this, another one-on-one matchup here with the right tackle. This time utilizes his speed to get to the inside, acts like he's about to bounce this inside, boom, gets this guy flat-footed, and then use that speed to curl around the edge and chase down Trevor Lawrence for another sack, right? Again, I'm extremely high on his overall potential to get to the quarterback, but I also believe when you look at this Washington Commander defense, they needed some more pass rush coming off that edge. And this is a perfect fit, man. Perfect fit in Von Miller, man. He's going to be huge for this defense pretty much right away, at least in my opinion. Getting up there in age, but to have this guy rotate off the bench or even potentially start some games is an absolute steal. Look at this play here with Von Miller. Welcome to Washington. This is a huge one right here. So he's going to get a one-on-one matchup with this right tackle, and watch him use his power. He's going to act like he's getting to the outside. Once he sees that running back come over to help, he's going to start to get back inside, and he's going to bull rush this right tackle, right? Pushes him about 5 yards back into the front side of Kyler Murray, and then ends up getting this sack. This is a guy that doesn't need to be a day one starter. He doesn't need to play every single snap, but if you can rotate him in 15, 20 snaps a game, maybe on 3rd and long, let him get to the quarterback, let him be well rested. This is a guy that can affect the quarterback in a multitude of different ways. And right here, this is one way he can do it, man. You talk about a division with Jalen Hurts. You're going to need a guy like Von Miller, again, just to play a few snaps, just to give you some extra stamina off the bench. I love this signing. Here we go again. Another great play there in technically, you can say 11 personnel because they only have 1 tight end in line, but he actually rotates out. If we're being honest, they are in 12 personnel. You have 2 tight ends on the field, and Jaheim Bell and Austin Hooper, but those guys are out wide right now, so you got this protection. I believe they're in a 5-man scat with man-to-man on the left, but on this play, you're going to see Von Miller at the top of your screen. Watch the speed. Watch the speed to come off the edge. Yeah, he's getting up there in age. Look at this, right? They're in a 5-man scat, slide to the left, man-to-man to the right. Running back tries to come over and help, just doesn't help the right guy, right? I mean, boom. Von Miller screams around that edge, gets a sack. This is a guy that can still get to the quarterback, and I agree. Some of you guys think, listen, he's washed. He's up there in age. He's too old. He's not going to be able to compete, right? Sure, I agree with that if you're trying to say he's a 3-down player. If they're bringing him in to be a 3-down edge rusher, then I agree that this is just not the time to do that, right? But if you're telling me he's coming in to play 15 to 20 snaps a game, add some pass rush off 3rd down, this is an A+ signing in my opinion. If you think otherwise, I don't know what film you're studying. I just don't know. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe, join the family, turn on post notifications, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.